friends, and welcome back to Oatmeal Homestead. Today we're going to be baking some cookies. Now there's 4 different recipes. One I have cooked before. I cooked them for Christmas, and the others I have never made, so we're going to be a work in progress and learning in progress. One of them is an oatmeal cranberry white chocolate cookie. The other one is a lemon snowflake. Then we're going to attempt a snickerdoodle. And then I believe it's called Everything But the Kitchen Sink. It's a lot of different things that I made. The one I made for Christmas, and those were a big hit. So we're gonna get those 4 made. We're gonna send a bunch of them to Nick's work. We're gonna take some up next door. And then I'm gonna drop these off at some point to a friend of mine. That's her favorite. She's more of a salty, she loves chips kind of person, but she does love those. And so I'm gonna surprise her probably tomorrow with those, and the cookies will go tomorrow. So just to show a little love to some of our friends and family. So let's swing around and get started, and hope these turn out. Okay, so we're gonna add 2 sticks of butter, of room temperature butter, to the mixer. And then we're gonna add our sugar, which is 3/4 cup of sugar. And we're gonna let that mix together. I'm just gonna add, that's probably a little bit more. Dump the rest of that out. This, we're gonna turn it on medium and let this combine, and then slowly we're gonna add 2 eggs. As our mixer is going, we're gonna crack in 2 eggs and add them one at a time until the other one gets combined. And that looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and add our second one. And we're gonna let this get combined, and then in a separate bowl, we're gonna mix some other ingredients. So let's hop over there and do that while this is mixing. So this calls to add 1.5 cups of flour to a bowl, and to sift all this together. There's our flour, and then we need to add, so I've got my 1.5 cups of flour. We're gonna add some salt, and then we need 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. And then we need to add our baking soda, which is 1 in here, and then we're gonna just sift this together. This is the new sifter that I bought from Azure Standard. I feel very adult and grown up with the sifter. So we're just gonna sift all that until it's nice and combined. A little bit of the baking soda. That looks perfect. So we've got our egg and butter and sugar mixture, and then our flour mixture. So we're gonna add the dry ingredients and the oats to this mixture. So I'm just gonna pour, can you guys see? Hold on. So we're gonna add this to this mixture. So I'm just gonna pour that in, and then we're gonna add our oats to the mixture, and it's 3 cups of oats. See if I can do this one-handed. A little bit more than a cup there. I'm gonna do just a smidge less in that one because I overfilled the other times. And then we are going to mix this together. until that gets combined. Once this is combined and fully incorporated, we're gonna stir in the cranberries and the white chocolate chips. I already have the oven heating to 350, and I have 2 cookie sheets lined over there. I'm just gonna give this a little bit of help on the sides and kind of push some of this down to make sure everything gets nice and incorporated. I tried to do kind of a mixture of cookies because some people don't like nuts, some people don't like dried fruit. My husband does not like dried fruit, so he would not eat this cookie because it has the cranberry in it. I love cranberries, so I can't eat this cookie because I can't eat sugar, but it sure looks nice, so that says something, right? Okay, so then we're gonna add our cranberries and our white chocolate. So we need a cup of each. So I just bought these cranberries today at the store on the way home. So we need a cup, and I can almost tell you that that's gonna be a cup. So we're just gonna throw that whole thing in there. And then I need a cup of chocolate chips, of white chocolate chips. I probably could have doubled this recipe, but since I'm making more than just this, I decided against that. So we're just gonna dump that in, put the mixture back down, and just let that get incorporated. And here is our dough. It looks so good. I kind of wish I could eat a cookie. I mean, I could eat a cookie, but then I'm going to pay for eating said cookie with arthritis and inflammation and everything else. So, it does look really yummy though. It's a nice paste. Let's walk over to the stove and get to our cookie sheet. So I don't have a traditional cookie scoop, so we're going to use this ice cream scoop to scoop out our batter. And we're just going to roll it into a little ball. And it said to place them about 1 inch to 2 inches apart. So we got those done. Nick is cleaning the attachment for me. I'm gonna end up having to do more because this is all I could fit on the cookie sheet. So we're gonna pop both of these in the oven. Probably be a good idea if I found out how long they should be in the oven. Okay, we're gonna pop them in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So I'll probably check them at 10 and see what they're looking like. Like I said, we're gonna have more than just this sheet and that sheet because I have leftover dough. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes, please.
10 minutes. Counting down.
Okay, so Siri's gonna take care of that for us. I'm gonna clean up a little bit of my mess and then we're gonna start with the next one. Okay, so we're already off to a good start. I forgot in the first recipe it called for vanilla. The recipe will be linked below, but to be fully transparent, I've never made any of these before. I'm not confident in my cooking skills. I'm typically frazzled by all of the stuff that's set out, and so sometimes I forget an ingredient. So always follow the recipe that's linked below. This is just me trying to learn how to cook and how to bake and how to do things my own. I'm gonna mess up. I can tell you that. I do it all the time. I left out the brown sugar in that as well. I did put regular sugar, but I left out the brown sugar and the vanilla. So we'll try from this recipe on to not do that. So we're gonna do the snickerdoodles, and I already have a lot of my stuff combined. I have my sugar and my cinnamon combined in this bowl, and then I have my other ingredients combined in this bowl. I need to get half a cup of butter and a cup of sugar in the mixer and let those mix until fluffy. I need of sugar. It's pretty close. We're gonna pour that in there and set the mixer on and get that going. Okay, we're gonna add in our vanilla. Out the vanilla on that one. Let me add just a little bit more. And then we're gonna beat our egg in, and I'm gonna crack it in here just because these are farm fresh, and I just want to make sure, get you down where you can see. I always crack it in a separate container before I throw it in here, just to make sure everything's combined. That is our timer for the other cookies. The other cookies aren't quite done, so we're gonna give them a couple more minutes, and we're gonna get this combined and then finish up our Snickerdoodles. So I didn't have record pressed, so we added our dry ingredients to the mixture, which is just flour, cream of tartar, and baking soda. So we're gonna let this get combined, and I'm gonna go check on our cookies in the oven. So those need a little while longer. It's taking longer. It could be the amount that I put in or the size of them that I made. So we're gonna let those keep cooking for another couple minutes, and I'll keep checking it. Okay, so while I have the other one in the oven finishing up, I'm just gonna go ahead and get these Snickerdoodles rolled out. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of dough, and then I have my mixture over here. We're just gonna roll them in that. And then I'm just gonna sit them here, like I said, while we're waiting on our other, because I don't have a cookie sheet to put the others in on, so. Okay, so I have Nick rolling the Snickerdoodles in the cinnamon and sugar mixture, and I'm getting ready to take our oatmeal cranberry white chocolate cookies out. The bottoms look nice and brown, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it. And I'm gonna transfer these over to let them cool on this rack, because I'm gonna transfer these over because I need to use these two cookie racks to get the rest of that dough, and then some of what Nick's making in there as well. I'll have to check the recipe on the Snickerdoodles and see if they have the same cook time. See what, I'm gonna put that one back in for just a little bit. On the top rack, I'm gonna give it another minute, and then I still have this dough that I need to get rolled up, and I think we're gonna stick with the little cow ice cream scoop for our ball. This made a lot of these, and I hope that they come out well, since I forgot some of the ingredients. Hopefully they will. I'm sure that they will. They might not taste exactly like the recipe because I left the vanilla out and the brown sugar, but I think they'll still taste good. They used to have, it was a white chocolate and cranberry cookie that Amy's used to make. It was, you just bought the log, the dough, in the grocery store, and those were the best cookies. My mother-in-law actually asked me about them the other day if I remembered where I got that dough, and I haven't been able to find it. I had picked it up at Publix, or it might have been Kroger, probably 3 years ago, or more. Those were the most delicious cookies. These are similar. I don't remember those having oats in them, but they were so good. So I'm hoping these kind of resemble that. I think that would make a great, perfect cookie. So I have these now done. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the oven and get them cooking. It took about 14 minutes in my oven, my elevation in my oven. I'm gonna pull these back out and check them. I think they're good. So I think we're gonna call them and just get them placed onto the cookie sheet. I don't mind a little bit of a doughier, softer cookie. Everybody has their preference on that. So I've got all of those done. Nick's finishing up on the cinnamon snickerdoodles, and I need to check to see what they're supposed to be baked on. So I've got Nick back there helping me clean up some stuff, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these ready. These actually bake the same time as far as 10 to 12 minutes, but it's at 375, and I'm sure all of you that are cooking and baking all the time would probably tell me I could go ahead and put them on, but since I'm new to this, I'm just gonna wait until those others get done, and then I'll pop this in at 375 for 10 to 12 minutes as well. Alright, so I left the easiest one for last. I don't know that I'm gonna do the fourth one. If I do the fourth one, I may just do it in a separate video. You just need 1 box of lemon cake mix. And we're just gonna dump that in the mixer. I've got Nick sifting some powdered sugar for me. We're gonna put an egg. And then it calls for 2 cups of cream. I couldn't find the other one, you know what I'm talking about? The one in the tube. This is the only one I could find, so. We're just gonna kind of make that one up as we go. That looked close enough to me, right? So that's kind of how all my recipes are, close enough. So we're gonna put this in the mixer and let it combine. Okay, so our dough is mixed, and here's our powdered sugar mixture. So it says just to scoop it out with a spoon and drop a spoonful in. It's kind of sticky. Okay, so I just looked at the recipe again. It says it's supposed to be sticky, and I would agree with that. I'm not sure how that's supposed to come out looking, but it says to drop it into the confectioner's sugar, and then I'm just kind of trying to make a ball with it as I put it over there. Will you pull this out so I can work around it? In case you've ever could tell, I'm not a baker or a cook, but it is a learning process, so I would follow the recipe below. So while I am sitting down taking a break in between cookies, I wanted to just remind you something. If you're new to cooking, or even if you're a seasoned pro at it, sometimes you're gonna mess up. You just have to keep it going. It used to irritate me, and that's why up until now, up until the past probably 3 or 4 or 5 months, I've not cooked at all, because I would try something, it would be an epic fail, I would get discouraged, I would be upset with myself for not only not making the recipe taste good or even look or taste good, but the fact that I wasted ingredients. But that's how you quit. And you never learn. So even when I forget to add ingredients, or when I do it out of order, or I do it out of turn, or I don't cut something the right way, or I don't blend something the right way, or I call something the wrong tool. Be proud of yourself that you kept going. That's something that I'm teaching myself, is just keep going. If you're hot, if it's messy, if the kitchen's a disaster, just keep going. Eventually, you're gonna learn how to do it faster, smarter, cleaner, better, make less of a mess. Typically, when I cook, if I have flour, sugar, powdered sugar, any of that, it's everywhere. It's a learning process. I was grateful today that Nick was here with me and he was able to jump in, and he kind of cut the camera on and off at some times because my hands were covered in stuff, and that he ended up cleaning all of the dishes from all the cooking. And so that was very helpful. It helped me kind of keep going, because a lot of times I get overwhelmed by the amount of clutter. That, and I get flustered when I'm having to go back and forth and check my phone to check a recipe, which I should just print it out. I think that would help some to have it there, so I'm not having to make sure the phone recognizes me and all of that. But I just wanted to give a little word of encouragement in case you're new like me. Just keep going. All of those cookies turned out delicious. I did take a bite of each one. I will probably pay for that. Matter of fact, my fingers are already kind of stiffening up a little bit from taking a bite of the first cookie that we did. But just keep going. It's a learning process. You're learning. You don't have to be professional. It's okay to mess up. I don't know if you saw, I did an epic fail breakfast where I tried to make 2 different kinds of biscuits, and the second ones came out better than the first ones, but it still wasn't perfect, and that's okay. It's a learning process. I'm going to try biscuits probably again in the next week or 2. So just keep going. Give yourself a little grace. Give yourself a little leniency. You don't have to be perfect. Yeah, so I just wanted to jump on and say that in between cooking. Okay, we're about to take the Snickerdoodles out and then put the lemon cookies in. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes, please.
10 minutes, starting now.
Okay. So this has been a hot mess. So all of the cranberry white chocolate cookie oatmeal cookies are done. The Snickerdoodles are cooling, and then the lemon ones are in the oven. I am not going to do the everything but the kitchen sink cookies. I think this is going to be plenty of sweetness, because let me show you my kitchen. So when I cook, there is literally stuff everywhere. Sorry, Nick just walked in the door. So there's literally stuff everywhere when I cook, and it throws my anxiety sky high, even though I try to clean up in between each individual cookie. It's just, it's a lot. Plus, I think we have plenty of cookies for everybody, and I'll cook the other one in a different recipe. We're just waiting on the lemon ones to come out, and I will show you all of them put together and have Nick do a taste test on the Snickerdoodle and the lemon one. He did already do a small taste test on the oatmeal white chocolate cranberry one, and he did like it, despite the fact that it has dried cranberries in it, which he doesn't like any dried fruit in anything. So that's a hit, even though I left out a couple of ingredients. And then we're just waiting another 10 minutes for the lemon ones to get done. We're waiting for the Snickerdoodles to set up, and then we'll come back and I'll let you take a look at all of them. Okay, so we're teaming up today. I've got Nick behind me cleaning up most of the stuff that we used today, and we're getting ready to pull out the lemon cookies, and then I'll give you a full shot of everything that we baked today. All right, guys, we are all done. All 3 cookies are done. They're cooling. Some of them are still cooling. Some of them are ready to take where we're taking them. Nick's still behind me finishing up some of the cleaning, and then I'll have 2 for him to taste test in just a second. So Again, follow the recipe below. Don't necessarily follow me. I'm new, I'm learning. It is exciting, but it does get frustrating when you mess up and do things wrong. But I could just cut this whole video out. But to me, this is real life. This is learning to cook and learning to bake. And I'm not the best at it. And there's confection sugar and flour and egg and everything else all over the kitchen. And it stresses me out, yeah. But the most important thing for me is that I kept going and I didn't stop. I didn't get frustrated, and I still enjoyed the process, and they look beautiful. So Nick is gonna give us a taste test, but before that, let me show you what the cookies look like. Okay, so here is the cranberry white chocolate oatmeal cookies. There's 2 plates of those. That made a lot. Here are the lemon cookies, and they're actually still cooling on the cooling rack. They look delicious. And then here are the Snickerdoodles, and they look, well, they look really good as well. Here's the 2 that I have for Nick to try. So let me stand back. Nick did the dishes for me, which is much appreciated because my anxiety was flaring. This is Nick, if you haven't seen him in a video before.
Hey everybody.
And he is gonna try the lemon cookie and the Snickerdoodle for us, and we will see what he thinks. He did try the oatmeal one, even though he does not like dried fruit, and he did like it.
Yeah, it was good.
So.
It was good. Start with the Snickerdoodle. It's a good one.
Nick's just tickled that I've been cooking, period, because for the first 10 years of our marriage, the stove really only got used maybe, what, twice a year? Yeah. If that was a lifetimer stove right there, lifetimer, and it's wondering what's going on lately.
Yep,
so
Thanksgiving and Christmas. So
yeah, and then he's gonna try the lemon one.
Still soft.
It's still a little soft because that one literally just came out of the oven, and that one was the easiest to make by far.
Wow, that's really good. Yeah,
he was licking the batter off the spatula thingy in the mixer on that one, so I figured that one would be good. So okay, so we are all done. That's the cookies. I'm glad you guys came and hung out with us today, and we appreciate you being here. All of the recipes will be linked below so that you can check them out down there, and I hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.